Hey guys, welcome back to the magical world of book words. My name is Renuka and welcome back to yet another bookish video. Today's video is extremely special to me because it is about a book that has very effortlessly made it to my favorites list. The Stationery Shop of Tehran by Marjan Kamli. Without any further ado, let's get into the video. Let me just clear that this is not a review video because this book doesn't need a review. Of course, it is a bestseller and it is a bestseller for a reason, actually for many reasons, but this book is an experience and I just want to share the experience that I had while reading this book. So it is not a review, this is just my experience. As far as the technical details of the book are concerned, I had picked this copy up from one of the book fairs organized by Book Chore that has really good collection, and I just jumped and grabbed the copy because there was only one, and this was a perfectly new copy, and I was ecstatic when I had got it. It is by Simon and Schuster, so it goes without saying that the quality of the book is amazing. And as far as the pages are concerned, there are hardly 310 pages, so I think you'll fly through this book, and it is so atmospheric that you don't even realize when you complete it. According to the blurb, this is the story of Roya and Bahman. Yes, it is, but it is not just a love story, it is much more than that. This is the story of Roya and Bahman who meet for the first time at the stationery shop run by Mr. Fakri, and they instantly fall in love. It is love at first sight kind of a thing. And they keep meeting, and their love story progresses to a point where they are supposed to get married until fate sets them apart. This is a little tragic sort of a story of Roya and Bahman, but as the tagline says, a country in turmoil, a love story just beginning. It speaks about the political revolution, the changes that it brings, and the levels on which society is affected due to that revolution. It speaks about love, it speaks about loss, grief, and coping up with a new setting in a foreign country, leaving your country and your family behind in order to explore a brighter future for yourself. So it is not just a love story, it is much more than that, with a lot of themes that you would definitely understand once you read it. Speaking of the characters, I have encountered some of the most beautifully developed characters in this book. Be it Roya Bahman, be it Roya's parents, Bahman's parents, Walter, or the most special, the stationer, Mr. Fakri. All these characters are wonderfully developed, and the positives and the negatives, the plus minus of every character is quite clear. And when you think about those characters in depth, you start encountering new things about those characters. That's what I realized, and that's what I experienced when I started thinking about Bahman's mother. So the character development game is high, it is up, and it is lovely. Though the love story between Roya and Bahman is the central plot line of the book, it's not just that. First of all, you go into a flashback from 2013, or yes, you go to a flashback from 2013 to 1953 in order to experience the love story between Roya and Bahman, and then again you go back into another flashback even before 1953 in order to experience the story, actually the love story, the half-baked love story of the stationer Mr. Fakri, and that is what keeps you hooked. So it's a story within a story, it is a flashback within a flashback, and that is what is extremely interesting. What I love the most about this book, and what actually made this book one of my favorites, is the writing style. It is very descriptive and very detailed. If you love books with descriptive writing, then you'll fall in love with it. But even if you don't, just give yourself some time and you'll be engulfed by the writing style of the author. The author actually teleports you into Tehran. You can see those people. You can see the situations happening in front of your eyes. You can smell the food. You can taste the food at a particular point with the descriptions that she has given. It is wonderfully written. You can see the events happening. Every touch, every look, every glance is described in the most beautiful way possible. Maybe that is why this is a love story that I have loved. Generally, I don't tend to like romance books, to be very honest. But the writing style, the descriptions is what made me admire the book even more. And the descriptions of the stationery shop are just beyond words. The description is just out of the world beautiful. The author knows that the stationery shop is the center of the plot line and it has to attract the attention of the readers. So it has been described in a very beautiful way. To my favorite character of the book, it has to be Walter, Roya's husband, and this is not a spoiler. I haven't spoiled the book for you. You come to know that Walter is Roya's husband on the very first page of the book. So this is not a spoiler. Walter is an extremely gentle, loving, caring, understanding, mature, gentlemanly sort of a guy, and since a very young age. So, age hasn't done anything for it. And he knows that people tend to make mistakes. He knows that everyone has a past. He knows that you cannot dominate your fate. And he knows that every story needs a closure. And he knows that his wife deserves it. He can think hypothetically. He respects women, he respects his wife, and he'll take anything and everything for his family. That's how the character has been crafted, and I'll cherish this book lifelong because it has Walter. He's that kind of a person whom every woman would want as a husband, whom every woman wants as a protector, not just husband, a friend, a guide, a protector. Walter is lovely. He's lovely. It's very difficult to not fall in love with him. This is the story of two teenagers. Roya and Bahman are just 17 when they meet, and they're supposed to get married at a very young age because the story started in 1953. But as teenagers, they had very different views of the world and they changed as the time progressed. Bahman is described as the boy who would change the world, but he wasn't exactly able to do that. As teenagers, we have fantastic expectations from life, but as life proceeds, as time proceeds, we have to change. We tend to change, and only then will we be able to live a good and a happy life. That's what happened to Roya and Bahman. They changed and they had to. Nothing catastrophic happened to them. Nothing that destroyed them for life. But yeah, different from what they expected. Marjan Kamli has constructed a wide variety of characters. I'm not talking about the number of characters, I'm talking about their behaviors and their natures. Speaking of Roya's father, Baba, he is an extremely progressive man. In 1953, this man wanted his daughters to be scientists. On the other hand, their mother is a traditional woman who just wants her daughters to be married and she just wants them to settle down. Bahman's father, on the other hand, is a man who balances everything very well, considering that his wife, that is Bahman's mother, is suffering through a psychological disorder. He is a very soft, kind-hearted man, but a man who could not rectify the things that went wrong. Bahman's mother, who is psychologically disturbed, for which her past is responsible, is very hysteric at some points, is very eccentric at some points, and you just cannot comprehend the way she behaves, but everything is justified towards the end once her past is revealed. And to top it all, the stationer, Mr. Fakri, he is a mystery. He's just a mystery. He just seems to be the owner of the stationery shop, but it's not that. The graph of the characters elevates to another level as you proceed reading the book. Emotions in this book are complex. You'll find yourself drowning into an ocean of emotions when you're reading this book, and some of them are so complex that I just can't find any words for them. Be it the ecstasy of getting married, be it the loss of your lover, the grief that accompanies that, the hope that someday everything will be okay, the hope that you cherish in order to live your life so that you can get over things, the confusion that you experience in a new country, in a new setting, and the loneliness that comes along with it, the feeling that you have to balance everything because your partner is not mentally fit. These are just a few things that I have enlisted. You will encounter a plethora of emotions when you are reading this book. So just beware. This is just a trigger warning. The emotional quotient of this book is damn high. I think I can go on and on praising this book, but I'm sure no one is interested in watching a video so long. So that's it for the day. That was my experience with the Stationery Shop of Tehran. If you haven't read it, you must. If you want to go for the audiobook version, the book is available on Storytel. Just go for it in any format that you're comfortable with, but please go for it. And if you have already read it, I would love to know your views. Just put them down in the comment section. Thank you for watching the video till the end, and you know the drill. Please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and help me spread a lot of bookish love.